Hey guys, it's Darwin, and today I want to share my full 2025 bikepacking gear setup and what I'll be using for an upcoming trip for an 800 plus mile bike tour in Central Asia. So it's been about 4, maybe 5 years since I've done a full bikepacking gear loadout here on the channel, and it's been about 3 years since I've done my last big bike tour in 2022 over in Great Britain. Well, in about a week, I am actually headed out to Kyrgyzstan to do an 800 plus mile bikepacking route going through Kyrgyzstan down into Tajikistan. And not only will I be out there having this big adventure, I'm also going to be shooting a full documentary film project. So the setup that I chose for this trip is completely different than anything that I've used in the past. We're going to be on a little bit of a rougher terrain most of the time. Sometimes we're going to be on gravel and paved roads in certain sections. And I wanted to build a rig that really focused on comfort and that could handle just about anything you could throw at it. And a little disclaimer before I get into everything, before I talk about the gear, because I am working on a documentary film project, this project does have some sponsors, and a couple of the items in this gear list were provided by those sponsors. However, about 99% of the gear that you're seeing here, including my entire bike, all my bags, everything, I bought at full price with my own money. These sponsors are sponsoring the project. They don't sponsor me or my channel, so take that as you will. I just wanted to be transparent with you guys. And speaking of the rig, the bike that I'm using for this trip is different than any bike that I've used in the past. I just built this up last October. This is a fully rigid steel mountain bike frame. This is a Kona Unit X, and this is a full custom build. Now you can buy this bike stock. However, I bought the frame and then took parts off of other bikes and other builds and built it up. And with that being said, you don't need a fancy custom bike to get into bike packing if you're just starting to do some research and think about doing it, and you don't need a bunch of fancy bags and expensive gear. You can use all of your backpacking gear, any bike that you have, find a trail, find a road, find a gravel road, get out and have an awesome adventure. The reason I use what I use is I've been doing this for a while. I worked in a bike shop, so I'm a bit of a bike nerd. So just know that you don't need any of this fancy stuff to go out and have an awesome bike packing adventure. All right, so without further ado, let's open up all of my bags, and I'll show you each bag individually and what I have in it and why I packed it. All right, so let's start off with my frame bag. This is a custom frame bag that I made for my bike by my company, Evolved Supply Co. It has one big main zipper pouch on the drive side, and then on the other side, it has a smaller quick access item pouch. And then the other thing that I want to highlight is this bottle cage down here, which is a cargo cage called a loony bin. So let's start off with what I have inside of my frame bag. My cook system, which is a Evolved 750 pot. That's my Toaks titanium alcohol stove, along with a small titanium windscreen and a titanium pot stand. And then below there, I have an 8-ounce bottle for my alcohol. Moving over for extra water storage, I have a Canuck Outdoors Vecto Plus 4 liter. And I'll mainly use this at the end of the day for camp. Up top there, I have my pump, which is a Lezyne pressure drive. The next thing that I keep in my frame bag is my shelter. This is a new tent that I'm trying out called the Samaya Instant 2. It is a DCF double vestibule freestanding shelter, and along with that I have my carbon tent poles and 6 stakes. I have my outer shell for wind and rain. This is an Outdoor Research Strataburst rain jacket. And then the last thing that is in that main triangle is in that bottom cage, which is a Grail Geopress Titanium. So not only am I going to be using this to filter water, I'll also be using a coffee press with it, so I'll have fresh coffee out on my trip. And that pretty much wraps up everything that is in my main triangle bag. Hey guys, I wanted to slide in here real quick and let you know that this video is sponsored by the fine folks at Onyx Backcountry. So I've talked a lot about Onyx Backcountry over the last couple of years, how I use the app on all of my backpacking trips and use something like the desktop version to plan out my entire Alaska thru hike. But did you know that you can also use it when you're out on your bike? Onyx actually built in a multi-sport toggle. So whether you're hiking, cycling, climbing, or skiing, you can use one app for everything. So when you're out on your bike, you can use those same awesome features that I love about the Onyx app, like the current weather layer, the active wildfire layer, using things like slope angle and looking at 3D mapping and everything. You can use it no matter what you're doing in the backcountry. Onyx has also baked in a ton of awesome trails and rides that you can do when you're out on your bike. So for me, getting ready for Kyrgyzstan Tajikistan, it's been awesome to have one app to do everything. So if you guys want to step up your backcountry navigation game and you just want to support my channel, check out the link down below, because right now Onyx is having a huge sale on subscriptions, and you can get a premium membership for only $1 for 3 months, or you can get what I use, which is an elite membership for $3 for 3 months. It's a stupid good deal, and honestly, I'm not sure how long it's gonna last, so check out that link. I can't thank Onyx enough for sponsoring this video, sponsoring my channel, sponsoring me, and helping to support all of my backcountry adventures. Next up is my seat bag, which is a Brooks Scape seat pack. What I really like about this is it's a two-piece system, meaning that the harness stays on the saddle, and then I can actually take out the dry bag, which is a welded seamed dry bag, meaning everything that stays inside of it will stay waterproof. And what I keep inside of there is my sleep system. So starting off, I have my UGQ Bandit 20. This is the same quilt that I used on my CDT thru hike. For a sleeping pad, I have my Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite. This is a regular wide. Moving down from there, I have my Sea Summit Eros Ultralight pillow and a pair of prototype Evolve Supply Co. sleep booties. I also have a merino buff that I basically just use as a pillowcase on my pillow, and a pair of thicker, warmer outdoor research gloves for camp. Up from there, I have a few extra clothes, so I have a pair of Icebreaker Merino 150 tights, an extra pair of Darn Tough Merino socks, and I have my down jacket because I've went back to a down jacket, which is my Z-Packs Ultralight down jacket. And that pretty much covers everything that is in my seat pack. Next up, let's go to my front bag system. I'm using something a bit different than I've used in the past. This is a bag that attaches to a rack instead of a bag that attaches to my bars, so I can put a little bit more weight in it if I need to. The bag is the Grill Bag by Graham. On top there, you'll notice that I have a pair of sandals attached to it, so I can have kind of a pair of camp shoes or something else to put on my feet. And then real quick on the side, I have these little PD camera strap dongles, so I can use my camera strap and use this bag as a shoulder bag when I'm in a town, or obviously I can use my camera strap on my camera. And then that bag is actually sitting on the rack, which is made by a company called Align, and this is the Diamond Rack. You'll notice on one side I've actually modified a little headlight mount. I've attached that to the rack, and this is my headlight, which is the Surface 350 headlight. It's the same headlight I've been using for years. It's a really great rechargeable one. All right, now let's open up the bag and I'll show you everything that I want to quickly access throughout the day. First off, I have an Evolve Supply Co. trail cap that I can put on at camp or when we're going into a town or something like that. I have a random bandana to be able to wipe up sweat, and I also have my hand knit beanie for when it gets a little chillier at camp. Down in this little case, I have my prescription sunglasses, a pair of Pearl Izumi Cyclone cycling gloves. These are for when it gets a little bit chillier on my hands. And then up from there, I have my Evolved Supply Co. LaRue fleece. This is the same one that I used in Alaska. Next up, I have an 1/8 inch foam pad, just a section of it in case I want to sit down at camp or to take a break. Again, strapped to the top are my Luna Oso sandals. Cruising up here to the top, I have my Diddy bag, so that's got all my hygiene products, my electronics, my trowel, everything else, all my Diddies. I have a little extra zipper pouch bag for a couple of items that I'm kind of taking different on this trip. So first off, I have a beard comb, and I actually have a little bit of beard balm as well, a tube of chapstick, and an Opinel number 8 knife. And then below that I have my Evolve Supply Co. long-handled titanium spoon. The other thing that I keep in that pouch is this new coffee press system that works with my GeoPress. I have a little cheap combination cable lock in case I need to lock my bike up real quick. And then moving on from there, I have something to be able to add capacity to my bike. So if you looked on my forks, I have 2 cargo cages on there. Well, this is 2 8-liter DCF roll top bags along with some straps. So that way, if I need to add extra food or any other items to my setup, I can fill those bags up and strap them to the cargo cages, giving myself some more carrying capacity. And the last couple things I keep in there are my carbon tripod because it breaks down small, so I can actually keep it in that bag. And then last but not least is my drone and controller, which is a DJI Mavic Mini 3. And that takes care of everything that is in that front bag. All right, next up, let's talk about the smaller bags that are on my top tube. So the one that's back here by my seat post and the little bag that's up in kind of the cockpit area of my bike, along with this other little bag. Now, these are gonna be quick access items throughout the day, things that I just wanna be able to grab as I'm riding. So first off is this little bag back here. I keep all of my repair items inside of this bag. So if we break it open, I'll show you that I have a rag to be able to clean my chain. I have an extra spare tube in there. This is a Tubelito tube. I have a small bottle of chain lube. And then below that, I have a little Lezyne tubeless plug kit, also known as bacon strips, and my multi-tool that does have a chain breaker and any other tool that I need in the field. Below that, I have an extra derailleur hanger just in case mine snaps, and yes, it does happen. And then I have this little clear plastic box. And inside of that box, I basically keep little extra parts like valve stem cores, brake pads, spoke nipples, any other little piece and part that I might need to repair while I'm in the field. And then the last thing that I keep in there are a couple extra derailleur cables and some zip ties. All right, next up, let's talk about this little gas tank bag up here. Inside of there, I'm basically just gonna keep quick access items that I need throughout the day. So first off, you'll see that I have my battery bank, which is an Anker PowerCore 20,000 PD power bank. Next up, I have my headphones and an iPod Shuffle. Yes, this is 2002. I have my iPhone, which is an iPhone 15, I believe, and my cycling computer, which is a Wahoo Roam. And that just attaches right up there on my bars. And then the last bag that's up there is this little Swift Industries Sidekick stem pouch. And the only thing that I keep in there is a water bottle. And the water bottle that I'm going to be using for this trip is the new Canuck through bottle. And I did put a little sports cap on there so I can easily get a drink while I'm riding. All right, next up is a bag that's not on my bike. It's actually on me. This is a hip pack that I'm going to be wearing. This is the Grail Mission 4-liter bag. And basically what I'm going to keep in there are my camera items and stuff that I need to access throughout the day. So first off, I have my camera, which is a Sony a7S III. Along with that, I have the Sony G Master 24-70 with an ND filter on the front. To go on top of my camera and get good sound, I have the Rode Video Micro. This is the same one I've been using for years. Below that, I have a GoPro Hero 11 Black. The next things that I keep in that hip pack are going to be some extra batteries. So I have 3 extra Sony batteries. Below that, I have 2 extra GoPro batteries. And then in that little black box is an ND filter for my GoPro. Down here are just a bunch of extra SD cards for my GoPro, my camera, and my drone. Up here are the important items like my passport, which obviously I need to travel to different countries, and my super simple thread wallet that has some cards and some cash in it. And then last but not least is a paper journal and a little pen because I've been really digging journaling on some of these trips. And that takes care of everything that is in that hip pack. All right, the last items are gonna be my clothes that I'm gonna be wearing while I'm riding. So first off are the same shorts that I've been riding in for years, which are the Patagonia Dirt Craft shorts, and these do have a padded liner inside of them. Next up is a button-up shirt. This is an Arc'teryx Skyline long sleeve shirt, which I don't think they make this anymore. I might take this, I might be taking something different. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I will be using a button-up long sleeve shirt. Above that is my cycling cap that I wear under my helmet. This is the same one that I wore in Great Britain, so it's got a lot of sweat baked into it. Speaking of helmet, that is my POC Omni Air helmet. It's the same one I've been using for a couple years. Absolutely love that helmet. A pair of darn tough merino socks, and my final pair of Topo Pursuit 1s with a pair of custom insoles inside. And that takes care of all the clothes that I'll be riding with. All right, so there you guys go. That is my full setup for that 800+ mile bikepacking route through Central Asia. I'm super jacked to get out there, not only to get out on the trip, but to also shoot this film project. And like I said, I am going to be shooting a full documentary film that will come out sometime in the future, but it probably won't be a YouTube video. However, I am still going to be doing a little bit of vlogging for here on the channel, so look out for that sometime in the fall. I'll probably put out those videos because I do want to share this adventure with you guys. Oh, and speaking of, I guess, adventures sharing with you guys, when I get back in September, I will be diving into my Alaska through hike videos, so keep out an eye for those as well. I guess that's it. This is the last video I'm gonna be making for a while. I'm gonna be over there for about 30 days, so I'm pretty jacked to get going. I just gotta break my bike down, box it up, and then I'm headed out to Central Asia. Have you guys been thinking about getting into bike packing? Have you been thinking about finally getting a certain type of bike, certain type of bag, certain type of gear, or have you been doing it for a while? Leave me something down below and let me know your thoughts. Guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. I hope you're taking care of each other. I hope you're having an awesome summer full of adventure. I'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.